But the guys are doing, let's do another pick card. Today's going to be what do they wish they never did. That could be triggering, that could be revealing as well. So let's keep an open mind and stay cool. It's just tarot. George is already here. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's do two balance, then we develop. Of course, we know the deal. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Pile number 1, what do they wish they never did? Justice. Four of Cups and Knight of Pentacles. Well, there is few things. By the end, they will do the right thing. What they wish they never did is to take so long to open the heart. They took whatever time they needed because they've been burned before, so they take a long time. The Pentacle is not quick in order to move forward. And I generally call the Knight of Pentacles the turtle, but who win the race at the end? The turtle. So it's someone who wish that they maybe done things a bit quicker, and also they wish that they've done the work to identify maybe before they met you what was going on down there, because they had love at first sight for you, or it happened in such a way that was surprising for them, because normally they were down and depressed and low vibration. Why? Because they may have suffer from trauma. They may have been really hurt in previous love stories or any kind of, partnership. Could be business as well. So they were really kind of concerned, still deflated, down, bruised, all the rest of it when they actually met you and you had an impact on them. And that was probably the only way they could actually fall in love, is to have love at first sight. But they wish that they maybe done some work on that. But to be fair, you do that kind of work whenever you're ready. It's not like you put that on the calendar and, okay, between 10 and 12, I'll do that work. No, it happened whenever it's meant to happen. But it is true that maybe for that person, they also wish at some point, I wish I never met you and never had that love at first sight, because you really trigger something in me. Of course, but if it did trigger something, is to clear it, to sort it out, and for them to have a sense of clarity of the mind, to rebalance themselves, to have a sense of justice, and maybe justice being served, because now they are more open to love instead of stagnating in depression, sadness, melancholy. It's better to get it out of the system. And with a supermoon, the last one coming up next week, maybe we're going to have that relief. And I think that's really important for them and for you, because you will sense the clarity as well. But it is important for their own well-being that they manage to get those feelings out, maybe cry some old tears that they never had the opportunity to cry, and to let it all go. So what they wish they never did is maybe at first to meet you, but then to maybe do that work and clear what was going on down there. And also now they may think, well, I could have done that a little bit quicker. No, you can't rush that kind of things. So there's no need for them to regret or to feel like, oh my God. They have to stop criticizing themselves to start with, because I think they've been unfortunately badly treated in their childhood or in their past relationship with other women or other men. So for them, they have to let go of the guilt. There's a lot of guilt in them, and they have to let that all go, because you can't dwell on it. You need to let it go. And also, what does it mean for them to take so much time to open up? Maybe they might miss on the opportunity to be happy with you. So is it really fair for them? Why do they still pay for other people betrayal maybe? Why do they still live in the past and maybe still feeling down when they actually could say, you know what, I learned a lot. Now justice is being served. I have a clarity of the mind and the clarity of the heart, and I take the decision to be happy from now on, period, right? What do I have? I wonder if you're happy without me. You see, of course you're not, because you're happy together. So, I think you can be, you can function, you can be on your own. There's no problem, and they can do as well. But life is so much better when you're together. The yin and the yang are fine individually, but when they're the yin and the yang together, they're much stronger. There's no doubt, of course. So, it will all come nicely together. I don't have a doubt. It will all balance himself out, because that's it. But in the meantime, maybe you had to be the Queen of Justice, the Queen of Sword, the Lady of Justice. Here we go. In the meantime, to protect yourself, because you wait for them to do the work to kind of let go of those things here. You have to let them do that in peace, of course. Imagination, I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. Yeah, but sometimes imagination is creating stuff when they know nothing to worry about. So be careful with imagination, because particularly women, we can create stories in our head so quickly, so quickly, like we imagine the worst. Cool it down. Doesn't have to only be women, but I see quite a few ladies imagining stories like, my God, I mean, even in Hollywood, they can't even organize that plot in a movie. It's like, wow. But also imagine what life would be or could be if that relationship was balanced, because there is a sense of happiness there, right? So imagine maybe the positive side of things instead of concentrating on the negative side of it altogether, right? Indeed. So let's have a look here. I am focused on my career and finances. Yeah, because that's why you need to go back to. You go back to survival. In the meantime, they can do their work. They can focus on themselves, slowly but surely moving forward. But maybe money is what they're dealing with, and maybe you as well. At the end of the day, you go back to what you can control. Your work generally is something you have, more control about it. Or maybe you want to find a new job and sign a new contract with a new company or whatever. But you focus on what is doable for now, and leave the time and space for that person, and maybe yourself as well, to actually develop and go through whatever they need to go through, slowly but surely. At the end of the day, it will work out. Justice will be served. So I don't have any concern about you two guys, but maybe right now, leave them some time, be the Lady of Justice, the Queen of Swords, cut it off for the time being, and let them do what they need to do in their own time. Don't try to pressurize them. And then you will have maybe a sense of balance again, but it will be much more appropriate and will be more equal. Whereas before, you could feel there were a kind of a reluctance to move forward, very, very maybe defensive of their heart, or simply not going there altogether. So that may have frustrated you, because for you it's like, well, there is love here, what are we doing? But you have to allow them to get to that point. So what they wish they never did, maybe at first to fall in love with you, but then they wish that they actually did more work quicker or earlier in their life, and they wish they didn't spend so much time swimming in there and dwelling on it. So then you could get together maybe quicker, but what the point? You will get there eventually. So don't try to open the cocoon to get access to the butterfly because you killed the butterfly. Let the cocoon and the butterfly do their own business on their own time, and that's why maybe you have to learn. So, right? Part number 2, what do they wish they never did? This one. I don't know where I'm going. King of Cups, 7 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Wands. So 7, it's spirituality. What they wish they never did is to maybe be frozen for so long, or maybe falling in love, because that King of Cups, male, female, doesn't matter, you fell in love or they fell in love, and it was just like, wow, a love at first sight, boom. But then they froze. They were on the fence. Maybe there was another person at the time and they didn't know what to do with it. Or maybe when I say someone else, it could be their own family, whatever, they work, whatever it is. So what they've done is spending a lot of time, and they're still maybe wondering, okay, do I stay in my routine, but I'm bored to death, or I go with you? Do I stay with my family, my original family, or do I, or I go with you? They haven't made the decision just yet. So at the moment, they still don't know. But being frozen and then being stuck, okay, what's going to happen? Inevitably, they're going to turn around and fight for you. So they're going to have that Ace of Wands, and that is the sense of I am, but they had to get rid of a 10 of Wands, carry too many things, maybe responsibility, maybe with their family or, of origin, for example. They have responsibility maybe in their work. There's certain things they can't just disregard. They have to show up. But now they want to stand by themselves on their own feet, and to be with you if they decide to do so. I think they will. So what they wish they never did is maybe to stay frozen for so long, but they stay frozen as long as they need, and maybe wondering for so long. But again, it's a big decision. Once they make that decision, they will do what needs to be done. So it's not an easy decision, it's not a quick decision, but it has to be done. So let's have more information. They wish they'd done it quicker, but you can't force or, you can't push for the process to happen sooner. You have to let it also happen. and trust the process is difficult. I know. I am not available. No, because they still haven't made up their mind. No, they still don't know. And on top of that, they're still frozen. They have fallen in love with you, and they just they haven't recovered from that, maybe still, you know, or they were not expecting for this to happen. I mean, when you have love at first sight, you never really expect it, do you? But not the intensity. They didn't realize the intensity of this. Oh my goodness, right? Growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. Yeah, because for them, you see, the cocoon is a bit too small now. They've been there for so long. It's just like, I need to get away from this. I need to let that go. But it takes a while to get to that, and also to that awareness, but also to do it. So growth, yes, they will have to turn around and defend their own self. The I am is very powerful here. That person is going to fight for your relationship to be appreciated, respected, and simply they're going to fight for you. The thing is, they know you are very unique, but it's a big decision. That's why they have to take their time. And I will highly recommend you use that time to make up your mind as well. Because when that person will turn around and fight for you, you better know where you stand. And if you are unsure, you know, they're doing all of that, and you say, well, I'm not sure. Well, no, hello. So do your work in the meantime as well. Let me take you out on a date. Is not beautiful? Yeah, here we go. You know, they have to decide, are they stay on their own, maybe working, make a lot of money, but really bored, or are they going for it? And yes, they will take you out on a date because they're going to fight for you. They're going to show you, this is it, you are my person. And they would also say, I fell in love with you. And I froze. Because it's something, love, when it does happen, you don't see it coming. And that's the beauty of it. But for some people, it's very overwhelming. And it's true, it is a big thing. It's a big deal to fall in love. So no wonder they froze for a moment. You know, I understand that very well. So all is well. So what they wish they never did, it maybe to hesitate maybe, but they had to take the time to freeze. But can they do anything about freezing? No, they just froze. And then they will just go for it. But they had to go through a process. Here we go again. On this note, have a beautiful day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah. Ciao.